Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be a 2024 mousepad roundup. I'm going to try to keep it under 10 mousepads. I've put a good amount of time on all of these. We have pads from Vaxee, TheWhale's brand, and InfinityMice mostly. Make sure to leave a like for Rex's guest appearance. But yeah, first and foremost is going to be the Vaxee PB Black. This is the new edition because on the previous one, they discontinued it after my video showed that the base did not lie 100% flat. On this new adjusted revised version, the base does indeed lie 100% flat, and it just kind of shows like the type of company Vaxee is. They discontinued the product, fixed it, and then brought it back. Unfortunately, while unboxing it, I did slash the mousepad. I mean, the packaging was insane. You can kind of see the scratch over here. I mean, when I swipe my mouse over it, I can kind of notice. It's not really an issue though. But yeah, this pad does not have stitched edges. It's not the largest mouse pad in the world, and it is $55. So I'm not saying that this is like the best value ever, but it does have a very unique, I believe this is silicone, some type of like rubber base. And yeah, this is a control pad that I have found to be very comfortable. It's just a balanced pad. The initial friction is not going to be super low like a Raiden or a glass pad, but it's just very balanced and comfortable. I feel like that's all I can say about this pad. But yeah, I've described the surface before a long time ago, and nothing changes there. I don't know if it's the exact same surface as the PA Black Edition, but this pad does play very differently to that. And yeah, it's just high quality. I don't really have any complaints. It's not my main mouse pad. It's something I absolutely could main, but just the size, the lack of stitching, that's really why I don't use it. But if you're just looking for a high quality mousepad surface with a unique base from Vaxee, really nothing wrong with it. Now we have the Pelz pad from TheWhale, which I feel like is one of his least popular pads. People always talk about the Blitz and the Glaze, which I will get into. But the Pelz, this is kind of like I would say it's a controlled Hayate Otsu is what the surface feels most similar to, because it just doesn't play like a Hien clone. It does not have an aggressive texture, even though you might notice like the pattern of the texture does look similar to other hybrid pads. And yeah, the red and the black versions do play different, with the red being a lot fluffier, I guess would be the feeling, more dense and just controlled, and that is because the pad was cold dyed. I don't know if that means cold dye was used or if the pad was dyed while it was cold. That was the information I was giving. This is using an X-Soft Poron. I don't believe it's authentic Japanese Poron, but it really does feel like it. The stitching there is truly no issues. Like, it's on the same level as the pad. It's very soft, and I have not noticed any fraying really whatsoever. So the quality is incredible on this pad, and I would say it's like just one of the more controlled hybrid pads that there's a market for. Surprisingly though, I just really enjoy this black version because it is a bit more textured, but still it doesn't play similarly to anything like a Lethal Gaming Gear, Mercury, Odin Infinity, Aqua Control Pro. Like, I don't even know what the hot Hien clones are anymore. This black unit does have a somewhat more firm base. I believe that this is a soft, and you can see like if I crunch up the pad, it is prone to creasing, so obviously don't do that. But yeah, performance-wise, this is just going to be for somebody who wants a light grazing texture, whether you like place your fingers on the pad, use that for control, or just want something a bit more controlled like on your skates. I would say that this is a solid option, not like the best pad on the market. And yeah, I feel like I did a kind of bad job describing it, but it's just like, I don't know, it's a pad that doesn't feel like many other hybrid pads, even though it seems like it is a close design. And now we have some InfinityMice pads. I will get to TheWhale's other pads later on in the video. This is called the Infinite Control V2, I guess. You see they have like the custom pattern on the Poron. Pretty cool. I've seen a few manufacturers do that, but this is the same weave as the Pure Track Mustang pad. I forget what it's called, but this is just a slower, more dense version of the weave, and you can see like there's really just not a lot of speed to this pad. It is completely buttery smooth to the touch, and yeah, this is just a style of mousepad that I don't really like. I don't like when pads feel like fuzzy, just completely soft and with a lot of control, because these are the exact type of pads that just get muddy and start to feel inconsistent, especially when there are temperature differences with a weave as dense as this. And it's just like, yeah, I don't love this pad. They also have the Kenzo version. It's some YouTuber, and they did a collab, and that's a larger size. I believe that pad is called the Shogun, and I've tried that one as well. That is the same texture as this, even though it plays like slightly different, but that might just be my schizophrenia. Yeah, again, the stitching is very good. I mean, stitching on mousepads at this point, China figured it out, and now pretty much every pad has perfect stitching. So I'm just not a huge fan of this pad because of how slow it is, and that it's just like this smooth texture that I've tried before and just don't love. The Infinite Speed V2, on the other hand, this is hands down the best Raiden clone on the market. It's not a Raiden clone, but it's the best Raiden-like pad on the market. It is a smooth texture. It's not the identical one to the prior pad I just showed. I hate my camera for not focusing. But yeah, this is just like, if you're looking for a smooth speed pad, this is, I mean, pretty much what you're gonna get. It definitely feels a lot more silky compared to slippery. So, I mean, if you have a Raiden, you probably understand what I'm saying. Nobody is going to feel like the surface is too abrasive. There is still adequate stopping power. That is my opinion, of course. If you're used to something truly slow, this could very well be too fast for you, but I feel like most of the mousepad notions have kind of been disproven at this point. Like, people are using fucking skypads in Valorant. So if you play a faster paced game especially, I'm pretty sure you'll be satisfied with the speed of this pad. Compared to a Raiden, the Raiden mid, at least my unit, does definitely have a bit more texture and overall speed to it, but it's not. This is just kind of like a revised Raiden. I definitely would not call it improved, but it's just different. The foam thickness, I would say it's somewhere around like an Artisan Soft, maybe a little bit thicker. But you can see that it does have significant like plush to it. You're not going to be like pushing your mouse into the pad too much, but if you do, you will get a little bit more control. So overall, it's also a bit thicker than the Raiden. Very good pricing. You can get the XL Square 490 by 490 for like $40. So yeah, the speed pad from InfinityMice, definitely just one of the speed pads to consider. I have no affiliation with them, but I was just truly surprised by how good this was. I would definitely recommend it over the Lamzu Energon. I have a Lethal Gaming Gear Neptune coming, but really in my time with this pad, I had no problems with it, and kind of surprising. Good stuff from InfinityMice if you are looking for a quicker pad. The initial friction, like I said, low, and obviously this pad is just going to play fast. So if you do have a somewhat heavier mouse, it's an interesting experience. I think heavier mouse, higher sense, quicker pad, it's just like, I don't know, it's a different experience to like light mouse, low sense, slow pad. It's, you know, different strokes for different folks. But next up, I don't even know what pad I'm going to talk about. Okay, last but not least for this video is going to be the Blitz pad from TheWhale, and this is a Zero-like mouse pad. I've heard a lot of people call it a Zero killer, but this is the soft version. I was sent both the mid and the soft, put the bulk of my time on the soft. But yeah, just compared to my Xsoft Artisan Zero, it's just really, it's a lot more stiff, like kind of firm of a mouse pad, and it just doesn't play the same. So if you are just looking for a solid control pad, this definitely fits that criteria. I would say it plays similarly to the Zero, if not just a touch faster. That is obviously going to be skate dependent, but it's just a very safe, balanced mouse pad, but it's nowhere near as soft and just kind of what I expect in an Artisan Zero. But obviously this pad's not an Artisan Zero, so I don't know if that's like a fair fucking criteria, but it's not my favorite control pad. I've given this a lot of time. As you can see, it's like very dirty. I've heard some things about like when you wash this pad, it kind of ruins it though. I don't know the truth behind that. I just wasn't going to risk ruining my only units. So yeah, it's like, again, I don't really have anything bad to say about this pad. It is very consistent. Like, I've never had any issues with it feeling muddy, affected by humidity, temperature, anything like that. So I do think it is a good buy. It's a good size if you're in the market for it, but I would not recommend like overpaying for it if it's like not in stock, if it's not available where you live, because there are a lot of other control pads that are equally as good. So yeah, definitely not a hard Zero killer in my mind, but they can peacefully coexist. The quality on it's solid, but I do wish they would make a Xsoft variant, because that is something that I would probably keep in my general rotation. And yeah, I don't know if my description has made it seem like I'm disappointed by the Blitz, because I'm really not whatsoever. It's an incredible quality pad. It's just in a pretty saturated market with like top tier control pads. But if you do want the mid version, like if you like a stiffer feeling pad, this is probably one of the best firm cloth pads out there. But for me, I'm going to keep using my Artisan Zero mainly over it, and that's just because mouse pads have kind of lost their luster to me. I'm not like switching between this, the Saturn Pro, the Endgame Gear control pad. Like, I just don't care. Like, just give me my Xsoft Zero. I'm fucking fine with that. But yeah, the Blitz, really good. All of the TheWhale's pads are top tier quality, and the Glaze, I'm not going to cover in this video. I know it's probably disappointing to some of you guys, but I just have not literally since I put this on my desk, I have not tried another glass pad, so I just don't even have anything to compare it to, and I feel like that would just make a kind of bad video. But this is definitely on the more control end. I've had this pad since like November, by the way. I've just like, it's been on my desk, and it's like I haven't felt the need to replace it. I would say this is like in the balance side towards the control side of a glass pad. It is still going to have the dust and hair issue. If I'm playing something like static dots on my normal sense, it literally, if sometimes it feels like I'm shaking towards my target. But if you are looking for a glass pad, this is like a 600 by 500 size, pretty fucking ridiculous. I think the pricing is pretty competitive. But yeah, I will make a full video, like some type of a glass pad roundup soon. Not like not soon where it's like 2 months away, trust me. But yeah, that's gonna be all for this video. If you guys have any other questions, if there are any other mouse pads I should review, let me know. But I hope this roundup satisfies some of the people who always ask me for mousepad content. But yeah, that's gonna be all. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and peace.